Welcome to On the Corner in downtown Marion. This is a special day. It's June the 10th, 2025, and we are here doing a special podcast. And our people with us today is Jermiah Lang, Chris Mercer, and Mike Powers.
Peace and love.
How you guys doing today?
Good, Gene. How are you?
Gene. Yeah. We have got more cameras in here than Heinz have got pickles, but
we'll explain that comment later.
Yeah.
Do you have anything
the
relevant
pickles
you
or
want
the
to
cameras?
Yeah. You have anything you want to say that's relevant to anything, or should we just move on?
no, I think we'll just turn it over to you, and you guys got her full screen.
So, I think the big news in Marion this week, I mean, it's all over town.
Is it all over
It's
town?
all over MySpace. It's everywhere.
Do you still have MySpace?
I never had anything. And
Okay.
You know I still don't.
Right.
Matter of pride for me.
That's good.
Is
Wisdom.
you, well, how do we put it?
How do you put it?
Yeah.
You're on air.
Yeah. You got a tattoo.
I did. I got a tattoo last Tuesday.
A man of God.
Yes. Yep.
I'm astounded. I'm appalled. I cannot believe it.
It's lowered your opinion of me.
I didn't think it'd get lower, but it did. Put that back up, Gene. Did you see that, Chris?
Yeah, I did.
So that's a Hebrew. That's two Hebrew words there. Reading right to left, it says Abed Melech. Abed Melech is found in Jeremiah 38, and it's a name of an individual. His name means servant of the king. And he went to the king when Jeremiah had been thrown in the cistern and said, "What has been done to the prophet is evil." And the king relented and let Abed Melech, servant of the king, go and recruit 30 men to get the prophet Jeremiah out of the cistern. And I think most of my adult life, thought about getting a tattoo, wanting to get a tattoo. Wasn't sure what to get. Do I get a Block A for Arizona? Do I get a Seattle Mariners logo, for the Mariners who have never won a World Series?
Yes, don't do that.
And those just never seem right. And this one, just when I saw that in Hebrew, I thought, you know what, that's a significant name. It's also not going to be something that anybody else has.
Mm-hmm.
And I liked the location of it, and I'm real pleased with it.
Well, location. I mean, a tramp stamp would have been what I would have expected from you.
Yeah, I know.
But
we're not going to ask to see yours.
No, whoa.
The body is a temple, and I am not going to abuse mine.
Okay, so that's that. I won't get preachy here. I'll save that for Sunday mornings. But one of those things is how do we adorn our places of worship? And we do adorn our places of worship with art, and
Sure.
we put words on them for names of buildings and things like that. So I didn't feel like my body is a temple. I don't feel like this defiles.
Do you know how many?
And it fits you.
Do you know,
Thank you.
Christopher, how many 24-year-old girls have tattoos that they think says beautiful flower in Chinese that really says this space for rent?
Yes,
or something
I
like
do not.
that.
I do not.
Well, I'm just,
But
okay, fine. You got a tattoo, and
I did.
You got to live with that.
I'm living with it. Yep.
no take backs. So you have no tattoos, or do you?
Oh,
You didn't get one in Ireland? You didn't get like a tattoo of Guinness when you were in Ireland?
He does.
that would have been.
Or like right on your chest?
Oh yeah, that's what I want to show. Show the pecs. Okay, let's move on. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Something you
Thank
wanted, you got
Yep.
it. Good for you.
Thank you.
I've come full circle on that.
Appreciate that. You've
I
grown
have
quickly.
of our 5 children, 3 of them have tattoos. The good ones don't. But so Chingawassa days. Last weekend, you were there. You were out of town.
I was.
But I think it was an excellent weekend. The weather kind of held off to the extent it needed to. It was wet in the park, but it didn't really rain. It had no rain during the main part of it on Saturday.
Yep.
You were there Friday night, though, right?
Yes.
Well, I was too, but we left before the monsoon hit.
Yep.
So, you said you had something to tell about
Yeah,
that?
just my wife and my wife and I and my youngest son were just sitting there in our lawn chairs trying to absorb some of the music, and it's like everyone else. And a couple of the others that were around us were like, well, I think we're going to cut out. We think the rain's a coming. And then they got on the intercom and said, hey, we got some lightning in the area. We're going to have to get off the stage, but we're going to resume here briefly after. So you hang around and we'll start it back up. So my wife and I kind of chit-chatted about what we were going to do. She says, well, why don't you just take the chairs to the car, and I'll hang out here and you come back and we'll just wait it out under the stage.
How long is this story, Chris?
Yeah, just the beginning. It's just the beginning. So anyway, I get to the truck and it starts to rain pretty hard, and then as I get in the vehicle, I turn and it is pouring. And where's my wife at? So she said she ran from the park to behind the police department, and she got in the car and was just soaked. So for about 20 minutes, it rained as hard as I had seen it in a while. Wow. And
was she gone and in it that whole time?
Yeah, she ran, the whole time. Or she said she walked. I wasn't going to run, she said. So, whatever that means. But, so, it was good. It did rain us out. And then the next day, we were down there early. She was doing dinky ducks. And I was down there helping with Kiwanis serve and clean up pancakes. So, and it was a great day. A little mushy, but the ground was. But it turned out great. I haven't heard the numbers yet, but it looked like it was a success.
The way they're talking, I don't think there's any. Well, I shouldn't say it that way, but I've heard from reputable sources that they probably sold 1,400 bucks.
Great.
Or more. So that was a good crowd.
Yeah.
Gene, can we see some photographs, please? There you go.
Oh yeah, there's the bed races.
Historic bed races.
That's the they had prizes for costumes, and obviously the turtles, the Ninja Turtles, were one of the entrants. Just roll through them, Gino. That's the actual Chingawassa Days committee team. That is the retired rhino, the former Chingawassa committee.
Are you in there?
I am there. You see the brown right behind Jesse Nickel in the wheelchair? Yeah, that I was pushing her, and she was pushing the bed from her wheelchair.
Nice.
Chris Meyerhoff in the white wig there. He also has on adult diapers. I don't know if you noticed.
I do not notice that.
You know, it looks like a bunch of elderly people that just escaped from the living center.
That's right.
Well, that's kind of the look we were going for, Gene.
They was looking for a day out.
Yep.
Dave Crowfoot there with the red, white, and blue hard hat and the cane. The old man shaking the cane, telling the kids to get out of the
Get off
yard.
my lawn.
Dinky Duck. Once again, for the 20th year in a row, I bought Dinky Ducks. I didn't win anything.
You did not win.
Ever. I've never won.
What? You don't have to say if you don't want. But how many ducks do you typically buy?
6.
6 ducks. Okay.
Yeah, that's $25.
That's like 1/10 of the amount that Gene buys.
Yeah, and you can afford it. You're retired.
Yeah. Right.
You know, I bought $200 worth, and the second number they pulled was my number, and I got a pair of massage eyeballs or massage glasses. And I tell you, last night I sat there for 15 minutes and I had the most beautiful.
I'm telling you.
We're gonna need those.
Whenever I get to a big city, I look for an eyeball massage.
It was nice and warm and vibrating and everything.
I see.
You know,
Okay.
it almost put me to sleep, but not quite.
Thanks for sharing.
Massaging eyeballs. I will Google that. Okay.
Yes, Google. Now, I actually sent Gene pictures that were sent to me. I'm not sure. Maybe you know which
I don't
artist is that. Cool picture, I thought.
Yeah.
And it does kind of show. I mean, it was rocking. Well, it wasn't rocking, unfortunately, but it was country and in the park on Saturday night.
Yeah, they were impressive. That group
Hey,
was impressive.
I got a question for you guys. We had the bands on Friday night and the bands on Saturday night. I had a lot of people tell me that they really liked the bands on Friday night more than the ones on Saturday night. Any comment on that?
You know, Friday, from my perspective, Friday was good, but Friday rained out, so it's kind of hard to say how Friday really the evening
Yeah, the
band
last,
was going to.
the last
Yeah,
band. Was right.
Saturday was good. I enjoyed it. I wouldn't say it was earth-shattering. I mean, we have had Charlie Daniels here before, 38 Special, John Michael Montgomery. I mean, some real
Yeah.
good events. This one was good. It was good music. I enjoyed it. There wasn't a piece I didn't like. But
I thought the opening act on Saturday night, I guess it would be the middle act, but the one right before the headliner, I really enjoyed that, and I hate country music. But frankly, if it wasn't called a country band, I don't think you'd think it was country.
yeah,
Really enjoyed that.
They played a lot of cover music, and I think people.
Who did?
The bands
Oh.
did.
there was
On
some.
Friday night, you're saying?
Yeah.
There was
Okay.
some, yeah.
All right.
Go ahead, Gene. Flip through.
I don't know who that little girl is.
That looks like Clara DeSelms.
Cute.
It does.
Oh, it does,
Yeah,
doesn't it?
it
Cute
does.
picture. Okay, keep these little guys in mind because at the end you're going to see some sidewalk art that they did.
Might be Tatum and Grady.
Yep, it's the Hep Boys.
That was something about.
Pucker up.
Yeah, I
lemon.
don't know what you did there. but-
Eat a lime and a lemon.
Oh,
Okay.
Yeah.
The
Speed walking.
race
speed
walking, yeah.
walking. Okay.
Okay,
Oh, there
this
it
was
is.
Veronica
DeSelms.
DeSelms
Yeah.
and Jordan Metro. They were on opposing teams, and you would not want to be on the opposite team because she did not respect your space while you were trying to make a move.
She is a heckler.
I mean, she was really putting it to him with pressure. Now look at this picture. Ah! Success.
She obviously is not ready for Clara to be in middle school and have Kelsey as her daughter's principal.
Yeah, that's the right principle
Yeah,
that she's.
yeah.
Yeah, there you go. That
Okay.
was the sidewalk art. I
Yeah.
thought that was really pretty good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Those little guys did it.
Were they drawing rhinos? I don't know. Was that the
That's a
assignment?
good question. I mean,
Okay.
obviously that one is.
Yeah.
I don't know what the plan was. And I sent Gene more pictures, or I thought I had, but they're lost in the interweb somewhere. So there you
Well,
go.
he'll pull them off. Get them on there somewhere, won't you, Gene?
I doubt it.
Okay. Should
You know, I can only do so much.
yeah, I
And then-
suppose you're right.
I'm out of the rest of it.
I forgot to tell you guys, by the way, are your phones on? Make sure and keep them on because we need to keep the level of professionalism that we always
Yeah.
Mine is muted.
Mine is turned off.
Well, yeah,
so
I don't turn it off. But okay. Should we move on?
Let's do it.
All right.
Let's cover some stuff.
We don't really have any announcements today, I don't think.
Okay.
And one of the things that Gene and I talked about was that the city council last meeting passed a $1 million bond issue.
Okay.
That I know anywhere, well, not anywhere, but in small towns, if you say $1 million, that's a lot of money, and it is a lot of money. I wanted to just address that real briefly.
Yeah.
What are your questions? No.
I think the questions have been raised.
We, with that, we're going to resurface 6 to 7 blocks in town. 4 of those, really it's kind of a long 4, is where he lives. And he's whined and cried and carried on for you. But North Coble, as most people probably know, has 9 houses that were put in within the last 3 years.
Yeah.
And the trucks and the concrete and the things hauling in there have destroyed that road. I went up there to take some pictures just to be able to show what it is, but frankly, the pictures, you just have to drive
Yeah.
it because it's not like there's a 8-foot pothole. It's just a lousy road.
Yeah.
It will
It's
allow
falling
to do
apart.
that and to finish there. I don't know yet whether it's going to be asphalt or concrete. We'll just have to make that call. It will be concrete on Roosevelt Street, on North Roosevelt, the last 2 blocks before you move into the commercial park out there.
Okay.
People say, well, we're also buying 1,000 new water meters, and depending on how much money is left after those are taken care of, there are some projects, some upgrades, I should say, that we would like to do at the water plant. Question on the water meters, many of our water meters are not working, maybe as much as 50%.
Not good.
If we can't get a reading on what your water consumption is, we're charging you.
You just guess, right?
Well, not exactly, but we err on the side.
My bill
of,
shows
we err on the side of not overcharging. you.
Okay. All right.
So we're probably losing money every month on water that we're processing and selling. And then on the streets, the theory is that you do this now, and it's going to save you money because construction costs will go up as time goes
Sure.
on. Now, I know that there are Grinches out there that push back on that, that say that there are costs associated with borrowing money. Of course there are.
Sure.
And that you've got interest, and that any gain you would have from not having to pay increased construction costs, you lose by paying interest. We put a cap on how much interest we were willing to pay, and we capped it at 4.5%. Got the news today, our interest rate's going to be 3.98.
Okay.
So it's under 4%. Even if construction costs don't go up as much as we thought, let's say it's a wash. Let's say it's a wash in the end, that we don't really save money, we don't really lose money. My argument would be, well, if that's the case, then wouldn't you want to have that work done now instead of waiting for us to wait 10 years? You drive on that road for 10 years to save up the money.
Yeah, there won't be a road in 10 years.
It
Yeah.
won't be. So that's so that's the bond issue part of that thing. I think it bothers me that there are those out there that I think just pick whatever side they think is the easiest criticism, and they don't even try to be consistent. We've been hit with over and over and over, why can't you do things like Hillsborough? Why can't you do things like Hillsborough? So we don't seek to do things like Hillsborough, but when we're doing something that is an intelligent way, and it happens to be exactly what Hillsborough did, we'll point that out. Then we get criticized for just being copycats and doing things because some other place did it.
Yeah.
It's irritating, but I want the public to know that this is being thought. This community, to move forward, needs to do things.
Yes.
Yeah.
We have young people in town, younger than even you two. I'm guessing the three of us, but it isn't saying very much
Right,
about me.
right, yeah.
But I'm surprised at how many young families we have in town, and they want something for their kids to do. They want to play, and so we're not done trying to do things. Are we going to go nuts and bankrupt the city? Certainly not. We're going to, however, use professional guidance and do things the way successful cities do things, as opposed to just trying to squeeze every penny till it cries.
Yeah.
And in the long run, if we are out of houses now. We have people want to move here, we have no houses for them. If we can get another housing development going, get more people in here, business follows people. What follows that is increased property valuation. And once your property valuation goes up, your mill levy can go down. So if you're worried about grandma's house and what she's paying in taxes, what we need to do is make other people's property worth more, so grandma isn't carrying as much of a load as she was.
Yeah.
That is the end of my sermon. Go forth, be fruitful.
Wow, that's a good point. And I think we all want
That's why you're not allowed to preach.
our yes. I mean, I think we all want our families to come back. I've got 2 older boys that are moving back as well, and as I've said before, I want them to come back. I want them to raise their kids in the school and use the daycare and maybe run their own business and bring that industry back. And if they're not finding the homes, if they're not satisfied, then they're going to go somewhere else. The Chase County, the Hillsborough,
By objective means of judging things, our school district is an excellent school district.
Yes.
absolutely.
Yep.
And they've got excellent facilities. You're looking at in a time in which small town hospitals are failing right and left. We have a hospital that appears to be doing just fine.
Yep.
It is.
And they continue to upgrade their facilities. What's missing is a progressive city government. And now that we have got a city administrator hired, Brian Wells starts next Monday.
A great mayor.
Well, you may disagree.
No, go ahead. Go ahead.
Is he giving you the $5 now or later?
Later.
Okay.
Yeah, well, I'm certainly not going to say that, but I will say this: we have a council that gets along.
Yes.
That's criticized by the Grinches out there.
Yeah.
That if we're getting along, we must be conspiring behind the scenes, to decide whether or not we're going to use what kind of trash can we're going to use for recycling. You sure want to hide behind the curtain and do that.
Yeah.
But at any event, I know that you have a council that wants to do things. I was really pleased to see Kevin Burkholder filed to get a new term.
Yep.
Don't think anybody ran against him, so Kevin will be coming back. And every one of those 4 people, if you look at them, and I'm not going to go through them all, we'll run out of time, but every one of those 4 people brings something real distinct to the table in a good way.
Yeah.
So
we just got back. We took Keenan to Bismarck, North Dakota, the metropolis of Bismarck, North Dakota, for paleontology camp. And it is a lot of 2-lane highways between here and there to get to Bismarck. And you get right as you go through each town, you can tell the towns that are investing in their town and the towns that aren't. And it is, you don't have to spend much time. You can just tell driving through it. And I think we're fortunate to have done the work that we've done and to keep moving forward and get more work done in our community. I think people see it, and people come for a weekend like Chingawassa days. They see you can't miss. Right across from the park, we're putting in new sidewalks and we're putting in new curbs and we're redoing the brick street. And people see that, and they see that money being put back into the community. And I think people from outside respond to that.
Yeah. Well said.
Paleontology camp.
Yep.
Isn't that what you told me you went to in your kid? No, I'm sorry, it was cosmetology. I get confused.
Oh, there's the shot.
Now you don't owe them the $5.
That's right.
Thank you, folks. We'll see you next week.